trying to hear the different sounds that
Yeah, I got you.
can make when I'm
Forget about it.
speaking like this or speaking like this or trying to understand what it is
Yo,
that
you
I'm
want some coffee?
saying, how
some
to have a
coffee?
conversation. One
Alright.
gangros pet peeve of dreaming with obstacles.
Yo, where's the spoon at?
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Politics isn't my favorite subject. It seems like the fakest, weakest drama show on the internet. Like a bunch of virtue signaling weaklings trying to clout up for the sake of clout because they have no real vision for humanity. Politicians are like managers. Their job is to win a popularity contest and micromanage systems created by great men of the past. You all think the same. Everyone's fighting the last war. Everyone's a zombie. Not one original thinker. Everyone's Jedi mind tricked by the CIA. You all think the same. Shout out to Terry. Technology has been making the world a smaller place for a while now. Cars and planes have compressed it geographically. The internet makes the distance irrelevant and has further merged language. The facilitation of geographic travel has allowed for different peoples and cultures to mix freely, and that's slowly eroding the distinctions between individual cultures, races, and religions. The internet, being inherently connected, provides the world with a metaculture. An internet culture that's separate from any particular race or nation. The technology trends are pushing people to be more alike, not more different over time. They are uniting into a homogeneous racing culture, a kind of unified people made up of everything that predated it. There is a potential concern over the loss of diversity and the extinction of distinct peoples as this process continues. If you imagine a piece of clay, we might have started with 10 distinct colors, but as we mixed them together, we were left with a singular grayish-brown one. This color is not inherently bad or weak, but the loss in diversity is an ideal. There's also a section of the population that has been pushing towards political globalism, leaning first into global cooperation between nations by intertwining economies, forming alliances, and international organizations, eventually forming centralized global government. The ideal of unity and peace is great. It is not without challenges. This opens the door to unprecedented power and population control. Much of what allows people freedom currently is their ability to more or less decide what government or nation they would like to live under. That if they don't like a particular nation or system, they can simply move to another. The other nations also keep each other in check militarily. As humanity prepares to evolve and leave the planet, there's opportunity to rethink the way that we organize ourselves. We have a bunch of political and economic systems to choose from, even some ideologies. Power hierarchy is fundamental to the universe. The more efficient and effective system always wins. Political and organizational systems are present to formally organize the natural emergent power hierarchy. The natural state of humans is to live in an anarchic tribal state in which power is informally organized through traditions and elders. That's because they're the most likely to lead the tribe to survival. As we settled and formed civilization, power increased and consolidated formally, giving rise to the potential for tyranny at scale. Democracy is the current pinnacle of organized power hierarchies. Democracy doesn't eliminate the power differences. It just channels authority through ideology and rule of law. The nation is a collection of different peoples, races, religions that have managed to coexist with one another despite obvious differences. That's made possible by uniting principles. We're a different race, different religion, with different origins, but we're both American, for example. This only works if the primary identifier is the nation. Otherwise, the differences are highlighted and conflict is inevitable. Prior to nations, we had other systems such as city-states. As a rule of thumb, the greater the unity, the greater the efficiency. Unifying the people under a government and set of ideals allowed us to transcend the petty grievances and focus on greater tasks. The other side of the coin here is tyranny. Communism, socialism, and Marxism tries to get at the heart of inequality. It tries to bring about some semblance of equality of outcome to humanity to dismantle the centralization of power. Fascism attempts to remove barriers of cooperation to maximize productivity. Anarchy seeks to create sovereign and cooperative civilization without mandatory subjection to top-down power. Saying labor, not the businessman, is the source of value is like saying the body is the source of action, not the brain. You can burn energy doing jumping jacks all day, but the value to society is zero. Without a leader directing the expenditure of energy, it is worth zero. The labor is entitled to pay only when under a system that makes it valuable to society, hence the wages. Current fairness is about equal opportunity. When speaking about Homo sapiens, this is all that is possible. Otherwise, you have to solve for genetic inequality to alter equality of outcomes. A good capitalist system requires equality of opportunity, obviously. To solve for inequality within Homo sapiens systems, you can only provide talent with upward mobility by offering that equality of opportunity. To solve equality of outcome and wealth disparity, you have to solve the wisdom problem. It seems to me that the problem with communism is that what leads to centralization of power is the fundamental human inequality of capability. That manifests in political and organizational systems as a symptom of that reality. Fascism attempts to embrace tribalism to optimize, but in order to fight against the technological globalism trends, a ridiculous reversion in technology is necessary. And only having the ability to leverage your own people is counterproductive. This doesn't seem conducive to a bright long-term future for humanity. The problem with anarchy is that the watermark for human capability is such that an erosion of top-down power structure would leave humanity in a state of inefficiency. That's not so different from how humans were initially organized as hunter-gatherers. There can be no equality until the solution of the wisdom problem, aka the transition to human-driven evolution. The intentional guidance of human evolution in which humans actually grow in power intentionally rather than circumstantially, as in the Darwinian model. Here, it is in our best interest to have as many powerful humans as possible, effectively changing the differential from power to individuality. The post-Darwinian intentional evolution of the species will lead to an actual decentralization of power and an explosion in population size as well as diversity. The critical factor to get right here is the accessibility to all humans. There can't be a master race that emerges. This controlled evolution acts as the solution to the wisdom problem so long as it allows for the human evolution curve to remain within reasonable distance of the technological evolution one. This state of evolution, this new iteration of humans, the next stage past Homo sapiens, is actually potentially conducive to a kind of empowered anarchic system. It doesn't make sense to have a hierarchy of power and people enforcing rules and laws when both parties are of equal capability. Power implies difference of capability, otherwise it's illogical. If solving the wisdom problem pulls humans up past a certain threshold, one that has the ability to be self-sustaining and leads to greater autonomy, there is a greatly reduced need for top-down power structures and perhaps could experience greater efficiency. Human-driven evolution makes diversity conscious and optional, rendering basic identifiers irrelevant, or as relevant as clothing style. Human-driven evolution solves for inequality better than any political or economic system ever could. It is what communism wishes it could be. The anarchic, optional participation method of organization would solve for tyranny. To organize people, you would place a clearly defined, non-dogmatic, ever-refining ideological system at the front. That being the source of voluntary unity. The ideological system solving for meaning. In the meantime, it's quite clear that democratic, capitalist, free market society is the current pinnacle of human organization. Perhaps increasing the capability of our talented people and fully getting behind them could expedite the raising of the economic watermark for humanity. That's what's landed us in modern society. It's always been the talented people of history that bring us into the future. Perhaps a shift to adding incentives to the talent such that we can hijack their human nature and desire for power in such a way that it directly benefits them to improve the quality of life for other citizens could be useful. It certainly worked well with the capitalism, as the greedy of our society are perfectly willing to spend their entire lives grinding for power and are willing to add value to society through their companies or work to get it. Maybe experimentation with direct democracy is worthwhile to help ensure that governments are abiding by the will of the people. There's also a need for a system that manages to get to the forefront of political organization and stays there. A rapidly innovating system, perpetually reinventing itself according to data in order to remain the pinnacle of civilization. For this to function, there must be a reliable data source for performance or popularity among civilians. This system would remain in a semi-chaotic state in order to continue to transcend old systems, but would effectively become a blueprint for other civilizations across humanity. This blueprint could be particularly useful for off-planet civilizations that have such a small margin for error. The clearer the data on what is most effective, the more useful the blueprint. It's not acceptable that we have to rely on speculation as to what the best organizational system is. you.